Shalom Akim, Shalom Akwatiim. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kradash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 21, verse 15, and it reads, If a skillful man heareth a wise word, he will commend it, and add unto it. But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeases him, and he casteth it behind his back. I'm sure by now many of you have caught wind of this beautiful dream / testimony that was posted by this brother here. And if you're not subscribed to his channel, I recommend you subscribe and be edified. And also, I'll leave a link in the description so you can watch this video in its entirety, and it's worth the listen. This brother said many things that caught my attention, but two primarily. And let me say this before I delve into this particular video. In my humble opinion, what the Lord provided this brother with was a glimpse and or a preview of the marriage supper of the Lamb. And the two things that I want to make mention of is, he said during that time, many brothers begin to make excuses. And also at that same time, these men that made excuses did not have on what I'm going to deem wedding garments. Now the scriptures talk about a time of that sort, but I'm going to let this brother expound very quickly here, and I'm going to chime in momentarily. Listen closely.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, damn, that brother got mad love. Yeah, it was just like, kind of thing. So then it was my turn. I got nervous, so I got there, I put my head down, I saluted Apostle R. He shook my hand, he kissed my hand, and I said, hey, Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah, and then I moved to Apostle Gabar. And then as soon as he saw me, he goes, hey, there you are, brother. There you are, brother. I knew you were going to make it. And he kept saying that. He was like, I'm so happy to see you, man. I was waiting for you. I was like, where's the brother? Where's the brother? And I was like, he's like, where your brother at? I was like, oh, he's in the back. He's like, oh, yeah, God, hey, how about Shemel Shabrakatah? And then I say, hey, how about Shemel Shabrakatah? And then I went to Elder Apostle Ramlab, and then he shook my hand. He gave me the same handshake, how about Shemel Shabrakatah? And then he gave me a hug. So I hugged him back. And he said, hey, good to see you, brother. I'm glad you guys made it. Dawadi Halbashim Yal-Shai. So we hugged each other. And then I was like, okay, now we're good. We got the approval of all three. So now.
If you notice, the brother said we got approval of all three. The scriptures tells us that everything be established on 2 or 3 witnesses. And I want to say this too as well. There's a reason why the elder apostles of GMS were there, okay? Because the elder apostles of GMS are the true apostles over Israel. But nevertheless, let's continue.
We're good. So I came and stood next to Amon Gabar, and we're just standing there, and I kind of hit him on the shoulder. I was like, yo, bro, like, what you think is in there? Like, we're here, So then my brother came, same thing. He got the same love. I said, yo, damn, bro, y'all too. Yo, what's up, Just kind of clowning with them, And it was like a spirit of just waiting, So like a few minutes after that, as we're standing there, I saw some brothers who are in GMS now, but their faces in the dream didn't have faces of brothers in GMS. But the whole group of us, we were all in GMS, So I was like, damn, like, and I saw brothers who were trying to make a case. They were opening up scriptures, like running around, like, and then the apostles were just standing there, very like stern, just standing there, no emotions, nothing, just standing there quietly, like.
Now, Luke the 14th chapter, the 17th through the 26th verse, it makes it clear to us that there are going to be men that make all sorts of excuses and come up with all sorts of flimsy reasons. And I want to say this, the power that we serve, he's a businessman. Whatever measure that he's allocated to all of us, he's expecting a return on his investments. All right? Excuses are not going to fly. Let's start here in the book of Luke, the 14th chapter, in the 17th verse on down, and it reads, and sent his servants. Remember, the scriptures tells us he revealed his secrets unto the servants, the prophets, starting with our elder apostles, beloved brothers on down, and sent his servants at supper time to say to them that were bidden to what? The marriage supper of the Lamb. Come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuses. I'm going to say it again. And they all with one consent began to make excuses. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground. I must need go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. Another said, I have brought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, What? I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So the servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said unto the servant, Go quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor, and the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and the hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be full. For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. And why is that? Because they begin to make a case. They begin to make fucking excuses. And excuses are not going to apply, and excuses are not going to fly with the Lord. Verse 25, and it reads, And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, If any man come to me, and hate not his father, or mother, or wife, or children, or brethren, and sister, ye, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And I want to be clear about something. All of us have jobs or so-called careers or spouses or children, etc., things going on. But this is our job here. Let's continue.
Like, what are you trying to prove to us? Like, we got nothing to, we can't save you. We're just approving the men that the Lord has already approved. So you coming up here, if you're not approved, you can't get here, you know? And oh, and then we also had garments, right? As soon as you got approved and you were on the other side, on the right side, you got your also your white robes, your garments, right? So we were standing there, and the brothers who didn't have garments, they were kind of like walking around, like trying to prove a point, like going through the scriptures, like, oh, yo, but what about this? Like, I did this. Well, you don't remember I was with you? Like, yo, they were kind of like trying to pitch a case, you know? And brothers were just standing there like, damn, that's crazy. Like, wow. And then
now you heard the brother. All the brothers that were approved, they had on what? Garments, and the wedding garments. And the other ones, they were not dressed appropriately. And where do we see this in scriptures? Matthew chapter 22, verse 10 through 13. And it reads, So the servants went out into the streets and gathered all the people that they could find, the bad as well as the good. And the wedding hall was filled with guests. And that's what we do week in, week out. We go to the highways and the hedges. We bid them to come in to the marriage supper of the Lamb. All right? The good and the bad of the house of Israel. The 1/3 hear the good news as well as what? The 2/3. All right? But let's continue on with verse 11. It reads, But when the king came in to see the guest, he noticed a man there who was not wearing wedding clothes. He asked, How did you get in here without wedding clothes on, friend? The man was speechless. What did the brothers say? They began to make a case. They probably were stumbling, muttering, mumbling over their words, stuttering, and so forth. Verse 13, Then the king told the attendants, Tie him hand and foot, and throw him outside into darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Let's proceed.
look worldly. You know, they had regular pants on, you know, boots. They got regular shirt. You know, they didn't look the part, you know, and they look worldly. You know what I mean?
Remember, in another place, in Matthew chapter 25, verse 30, it tells us what the Lord is going to do to those that were worthy, that were lazy. It reads, Throw that worthless servant outside into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
And we were just kind of standing there like, damn, that's crazy. Like, yo. And they didn't have the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai on them. You know, it's kind of like lay low under the radar, you know, until you kind of get to the end. But you got to the end, but guess what? You weren't approved. You know what I'm saying? So they were trying to pitch a case. Like, it was mad buzz. Like, it was like they were going insane. You know, like pissed off, crying, like, yo, what about this? Like, well, look, I got this, yo, I got a precept right here. Like, it's like last minute trying to pitch a case, you know, but it wasn't working, you know?
The brother said they were last minute attempting to pitch a case. The book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 44 through 46, it tells us, So you also must be ready. I read it again. So you also, brothers, this includes me, must be ready. The Lord wants us diligently, you know, working in his garden with our hand on the plow. Read that again. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household to give them their food at their proper time. It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. Akim, you got to listen to this video here in its entirety. It should light a fire underneath you. Let's keep pushing, brothers, because the time of our redemption draweth nigh. And I hope that this quick video has been helpful. Call halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.